We have work going on with a couple of commercial entities who are doing research on vaccines. They found that viruses react differently in space, and they become more virulent. They make you sick they make you sicker. And they've been able to identify what's changed in how those bacteria and viruses react, and they can figure out then, well, okay, well, that's what's making you sicker, and then they can look at that and say, okay, well, then I can use that to go develop a vaccine so that when that happens, you don't get sick. So there's a company, Bioserve, that's teamed with a company called AstraGenetics that's doing research on vaccines, and they're going to the FDA for investigational new drugs to try and develop vaccines for salmonella, which is, food poisoning, and also working on a couple other bacteria that are real problems both in the world and in the United States. We have other commercial partners, a company called NanoRacks, who's developing a low-cost, simple access to space. They've developed a platform that allows you to take the standard CubeSat form factor and modify it for space station. And so they've used sort of the industry standard and made it available for anybody and everybody at a very low cost. And so the goal is that then people have inexpensive access, and so that there's an opportunity to fail. You don't have to make sure that your research is going to be successful the first time. If you're trying something out and maybe it's not quite right, it's cheap enough that you can try again until you figure out what you really, what the space environment's really doing. They're pulling it down to a really, really low cost. They even have a high school who built an experiment, based on funding from the parents in the school, was able to buy a ride and do an experiment that they're interested in. And so there are, those are just a couple of them, but there's about up to 10 or 12 different commercial companies that we're working with as well, who are using station for research that is of interest to the company, not necessarily of interest to NASA.